second question, which comes from the first question, is that how and in what ways is yaqeen related to the concept of iman? We believe God is there, and also we do a lot of things to confirm the belief, like wuzu, namaz, prayer. Some of it may be rituals, some of it may be real.
Now, Islam has also drawn a parallel between iman and yaqeen and described various stages of iman. The first stage is that of iman al-ujuz. That is to say, a belief with which you are born, you are not capable enough to judge it from the wrong. You judge right from the wrong in any way. The elected masses are particularly in the mind of Islam when he described this. Iman al-Ujuz, the old wives' faith, that is what he calls it. So the old wives do not challenge it. Whatever they have been born with, they keep it intact. And their belief is very staunch. So strong that they can offer anything for that belief, offer any sacrifice for that belief, yet they cannot convince anyone else because there is no knowledge accompanying it. Their conviction is a born conviction. In itself it is very strong, it is unshakable. No amount of argument on your part can shake them from that belief. Yet if you tell them to impart the same belief to others, they will be totally nonplussed because they never understood through reason. Their faith had no relationship to reasoning and faculty of thinking, and so they are incapable. So it is a very strong iman, but a very limited iman as well. As far as the element of yaqeen is concerned, for that lady it is enough to suffice her. But it is not enough for others. So an iman can be of a nature where it is very strong for the person who believes in it, but is useless as far as the spread of that iman is concerned. Yet another stage can come in the life of the same lady when she is so pious, so devoted to Allah. She offers her sacrifices for the sake of Allah. She is illiterate. Her iman is just like I have described. Yet she begins to receive signs of Allah's presence through other ways. Not through knowledge. Through dreams which are fulfilled. Through prayers which are accepted. Through closeness of Allah, which she begins to feel. And these things are not only a subjective phenomena, but also ultimately turn into an objective phenomenon, which can be observed by people around. She tells them, this is my prayer and this is my answer, and here is what Allah tells me would happen in future. And that happens exactly in the same manner. And people know that she is a simple lady, she can't concoct things, is not capable of doing such a thing. And the things also happen and prove thereby that this was a message from my own. So this sort of iman has also its stages. It develops into a greater faith and a stronger faith by witnessing exactly on the same parallel lines as yaqeen was proceeding in the direction of a positive, more sure and observable phenomenon. So the presence of Allah can be revealed to every type of faith, however limited the faith may be in the beginning. Then Hazrat Naseem Islam tells us that there is another iman based on knowledge. For instance, you study nature and you come to the conclusion that there has to be some creator. Muslim Islam tells us that is very similar to seeing the sign of a fire. For instance, you see smoke from distance and you infer that there should be a fire. While maybe it is not a smoke at all. It is some sort of smog or fog or some dust particles are hanging in the air, and light is falling from such an angle that a color of grey, a shade of grey is added, and you think it is smoke, while it is not smoke. So in the first stage of yaqeen, the elements of doubt do creep in. So Muslim tells us that this stage of faith is also liable to suffer from some sort of doubts, because it is an inference, logical inference, and it is not a surety unless you begin to see God. You can't believe in Him as strongly as that old woman who doesn't have a logical argument to support her view, yet her belief is strong. But this man, even if with a weaker belief, he has the capability of spread his belief around, because he has got that instrument of knowledge. He can use it himself and offer it to others for their respective uses. So it has one advantage. Now if this man again turns to Allah in all sincerity, he can be treated in the same manner as that old woman has been treated before him, with the result that he also can witness further stages of faith and iman. So similarly, there is a third type of iman which comes from direct guidance from Allah, and that is the strongest. If somebody is recipient of Allah's revelation and he chooses such a person and he speaks to him and he is so close to him that he lives with him, and it's both way traffic of mutual love and realization of presence, that is the strongest possible faith that one can have. And this is the faith of prophets, which to a second and lesser degree is also shared occasionally by other saints, but to a lesser degree of course. But the prophets live in the presence of their Lord, and they know that He is, because their faith is not based on argument, despite the fact that they know the strongest arguments in favor of their claim as well, because they are shown knowledge as well from Allah. They are shown guidance from Allah. All the possible stages of faith and yaqeen join hands in the cases of prophets. So in every respect, this is the most complete faith and yaqeen on Allah which is held by the prophets. Now, as far as the La Raiva Fi is concerned, it has no bearing on this subject at all.
Can I ask another question?
Please.
Seems that we are talking about two types of information. One is we know a thing, we have a certain information about a thing, and we make a belief on the basis of it. I can see this wall, this is right. So that is physical or objective information. And the other side of it is the information which is experiential, that I know God, feel God. It's essentially subjective.
No, objective, this is what I said. You're missing that. I explained the whole phenomena when I was talking about the face of a woman whose belief is not based on knowledge, but who believes. Then I told, for the sake of explaining the situation, that she begins to receive revelations from Allah or dreams which are subjective for her, but when they come to be fulfilled, the same thing becomes objective for others. When she tells others that I have received this information from Allah, and that information is not possible for her to get by, yet when it is fulfilled, people know all around, and this is not a subjective phenomena anymore. It becomes an objective phenomena. This phenomena is much more objective in case of the prophets?
What I'm saying is that probably you want to use the word term objective for both types of phenomena.
No.
What I'm saying is that one is certain knowing things, having certain information about the physicality of things, as we know by our senses and other ways.
Yes.
And the second is the sort of things which we can feel, something to do with our emotional...
I'm only using subjective for this and objective. Now you are mixing things together. This is why you can't understand me clearly. There are two types of objective studies involved in this discussion. One is the preliminary, which leads you to a belief in God. The objective study of nature, which indicates to some, if not to all, that there should be a creator. That is the objective, the first objective study, which is left far behind. Now I was talking of a different objective phenomena. I was telling of a phenomena of one person having reached a stage where he is in contact with Allah. Like somebody is very close to a great officer in the government. Now you may not have seen him moving about, going, visiting his places and coming out of the offices, yet you have heard that he has close relationship. Now, that is subjective for him and it has not become objective for you. But when he tells you that I spoke to that man and this is your work, you want to be done, and this will be done on that day, you go and collect your papers. This phenomena of subjective experience for him becomes objective for you.
No, I mean, I'm not disputing the point at all.
But this is what I said.
So I'm not disputing your point at all. What I'm trying to say is that there is a certain quality of, say, of a belief, which people are talking about surety, the certain quality of it. A woman says she's so sure of God, she only knows very little about God. Another man knows a lot about God, but still he is not sure, so he lacks that quality of thing. So
that's correct. But that changes from person to person, and they cannot be categorized into 2, 3 or 4 large categories. Now the cases are so many that from person to person the quality of belief and the concept of belief changes. You can assert something with such cocksureness as if you have gone through all the stages of experience. And another person can describe the same thing so mildly as if he was not sure himself.
I would say,
yet he would be surer maybe than you are.
I would say being sure of anything except God is stupid.
Huh?
Being too sure of anything except God
yes.
is very wise.
Exactly.
And now the other point is I was coming to ask.